welcome. Everybody settle down. Welcome, denizens of my pocket dimension, steam belly sewer dwellers. Welcome, one and all. Today, wonderful conversation for you. I'm speaking with Zhyrra Dahlamehr. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sure she will correct me if I am not. Zhyrra Dahlamehr. We'll get to that shortly. But first, interesting news in the Steam Belly universe. A little bit of trouble, a little bit of controversy. Turns out Penryn Stroganoff either finally heard his interview or someone heard it and word got back to him, but apparently he and I have a difference of opinion, A, over what off the record means, and B, well, not to put too fine a point on it, but where I can stick certain things. He seems pretty clear on what I should do perhaps with a rapier. But I'm sure we'll get it worked out. Hopefully we can head this off before there are any either legal repercussions or bodily harm comes to anyone. In addition, things are back on the outs with Beckmund in Fettelwork. His corporate attorneys have gotten in touch with me that they are unhappy with the format in which I aired our conversation, and they will be informing me of their expectations post-haste. But even with all that trouble brewing, I'm still in a pretty good mood. My new friend and I, we got together and decided to go out and look for Melissa. Our time together did turn into a bit of a hunting trip. I used my preferred method of hand crossbow with Leander, my sister, as you all know, whereas he, more of a hands-on kind of guy and likes to be up close and personal with his prey. But, to each their own, and we both had a good time. And were successful individually and had a good time hunting together. And I look forward to doing that again. So that has lifted my spirits despite the impending legal trouble that yours truly may be in. But that brings me right back to today's conversation. That is why Zhyrra Dahlamehr is here. Well, one of the reasons at least that she's here. Hopefully she will be able to give me some information that may help me navigate one of these two potential legal issues in a more unofficial type fashion. So without any further ado, let's get to it. Zhyrra Dahlamehr. No, just make yourself comfortable. Either stool's fine. Do you have a preference here, there? What do you want to do?
No, just this one. This one's fine.
Okay, yeah, great. Just push that right off. Don't worry about that.
Right.
Listen, I'm glad you can make it down here today. How was the trip?
Sorry, is there someone else in here with us?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I know it's a little bit confusing, but my musical director / talent booker / wardrobe person / set decorator / drawstring crossbow is my sister Leander Steam Belly.
Oh,
She says hello, by the way.
right. Okay. How did I got a letter addressed from? Okay. I've seen stranger. No offense.
No, I understand. It's look, even for me, it's a bit strange, but sister falls into a big pond of goo and gets slurped around in there for a while, and I strip down to my skivvies to dive in, right? And this is what I'm able to scoop out. But she still talks to me. I still talk to her. She gives me great advice. She's the one who helped me pick out these particular stools here. And it's wonderful to still have my sister with me in any form.
I would ask if you're okay, if I didn't get a letter addressed from your crossbow. Uh, but so how is she still sentient? Was that part of the portal venture?
Well, one thing that I have learned in this world is don't question good things when they happen to you. I was worried, deeply worried for those hours when I was stomping around in that swamp in nothing but my underbriefs that I would be the only steam belly left stomping around. But through the great fortune of some gods, I was able to scoop this goo up. And when I talk to it, it talks back. And when I stretched it out across my head crossbow, I've never shot straighter. And so I'm just thankful that I still have a sister in this world that I'm able to talk to. And whatever she looks like and however she chooses to communicate, that's just okay with me. Because I love my sister. Ella, ain't that right? It's so great to have you.
Oh, Leander. That's sweet.
See, and that's what people don't understand, right? Just because I'm this sexy, don't mean I can't be sweet too. I'm the whole package.
Right. The whole package. Goodness. Okay. Back on we were talking about reminds me of my old sort of thief days. Lots of running around in the sewer.
Oh,
Uh
so this isn't your first time in a sewer. That's wonderful.
oh darling, no, not at all. They had me doing grunt work down in the sewer. Anytime we had to escape, sewers were,
Right, and
obviously
they're
the place
surprisingly
to go.
charming places, am I right?
It's quaint.
Yeah, quaint. I mean, that's look. I'm, if you'll pardon the expression, I've gotten a lot of shit from some of the other guests regarding my uh, choice of pocket dimension, but it's nice to have someone who can appreciate the finer qualities of existing in a sewer. How long ago
Oh,
were these humble thief days?
I kind of lost count. The Zentarum really don't do birthdays, but I'd say like 40 something, give or take. I don't know. Teenage years.
Oh, you were operating as a thief 40 years ago?
Yeah. Uh, sort of thief, thug, then assassin eventually.
I see. Well, that sounds like quite the progression. Clearly, not a big issue with the taking of a life.
Mm-mm.
Well, I'll be sure to be on my best behavior.
Oh, you don't have to worry.
Well, thank you for putting me at ease. How does one find themselves in the life of a thief slash thug as a teenager?
Uh, born into it. Before that was just brutal training and uh education.
Well, that doesn't sound fun at all. So not a very joyous childhood.
Oh no, I had fun. Don't get me wrong. It was just cruel, I guess. It's not something I really think about that often.
All right, but if you'll indulge me, let's think about it for a moment now, because those are two wildly different things that you just mentioned there.
Hmm.
Uh,
Are they?
perhaps you could give me an example of one of these joyous, fun times that you recall as a child.
Oh, well, so I was born into a sort of noble family, but I was sort of a bastard child of the patriarch and a another lover, I guess. So I was kind of an outcast from birth.
Product of a
D-
love triangle, I get it.
uh-huh. Oh, do you relate?
Well, I am a man of the world. I understand what it means to be a product of a love triangle. I was not. Leonella was not. Our parents were humble working folk who disappeared while we were teenagers, but loved each other very, very much, and were always enough for each other.
Hmm. Right. Anyways, when I was too young to be sent on like proper missions for the Zentarum, I was usually like a guard or protection around the house. My parents really weren't, or my father wasn't really a sociable person. People didn't really like him that much. I guess I get it from him. uh, but anyways, my brat sisters, I did sneak into their room one night and put a bunch of dead rats under the floorboards. And then my stepmother got very, very upset at them, and they were none the wiser. Something more exciting. Oh, right, right. On the way back from securing some documents, my good friend's song, they stopped by a like a general store and they took the whole entire cash register, despite my pleading. That was one of the times we had to use the sewers just because it's not exactly easy to, stuff one of those under the coat.
So it sounds like no playing ball with your friends, no rolling a hoop down the pathway with a wooden stick, no climbing trees.
Oh, there was a lot of climbing trees.
Oh, a lot of climbing trees, just racing your friends up there, having a good time once you reach the top.
More alone for reconnaissance, peering through
Okay,
the bedroom windows.
so this is, I mean,
Right,
I'm not
right.
judging here. I'm simply stating that from a very early age, it seems like a lot of your quote unquote fun activities were really of the more underhand and murderous variety.
Yes.
Okay, that's perfectly fair, and so that's how one ends up being a member of the Zentarum, and presumably you continue to rise through the ranks and participate and complete many missions for them. Am curious if you have the willingness or capacity to talk about any of those. I imagine there must be some pretty interesting and entertaining stories there, but I also am sensitive to the fact that this is Zentarum business.
Oh, no, they can fuck themselves. Uh, the only thing that's limiting me now is my memory. These past few months have been kind of a whirlwind, and I've kind of forgotten all that sort of young Zira days. A lot of them were like lavish parties. My work got a lot cleaner. Instead of, you know, murdering someone in a back alley, it turned to political assassination, poisoning the drinks, making things look like accidents, having nothing to do with the death when it came. Nothing to do, of course, in quotes. But yeah, there were a lot of great, wonderful Baldur's Gate homes that I've toured the inside of. Not many.
Uninvited, I presume.
Oh, very much invited. Uh,
Oh, interesting.
whether the invite was legitimate or not, that varied on the job. Of course, I didn't stay long. Partying was never really my thing.
How long ago did you make it from the Baldur's Gate area to the Waterdeep and surrounding area?
That was oh, Waterdeep. I was actually out of Baldur's Gate and out of, I guess, civilization in general, just kind of hopping around between small towns after I defected from the Zentarum. It was rough work, but I made a living as a mercenary. I also found a few new tricks.
Well, that's interesting. I know another individual from this area that has defected from the Zentarum. Are you familiar? You ever come across a certain Penryn Stroganoff?
Oh, oh, Penryn. Yeah, I feel like I have a score to settle with that rascal, but haven't
Really?
seen him in a while. A little bit. Yeah. He just kind of up and left. I was new to the I don't know if you're familiar with the party that Oh, yes, of course, you were there. Yes, that whole entire group, we actually were Penryn was a part of them before I even got there. So he up and left when we got to Waterdeep and made it my responsibility, the new person that nobody trusted for good reason, to break the news that Penryn just disappeared. And that was supposed to be just kind of a coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I find him to be a very confusing individual. I mean, I had the pleasure of having a conversation with him. I thought it went really, really well. And since it went out over the Fetterworks Sending Stone network, I have received some threatening missives from him that I did not do him justice in our conversation and the broadcast thereof. And he seems pretty unhappy. And he has threatened to use some of that Zentarum training to seek retribution from me. So I guess I was hoping that maybe you had a better relationship with him than I did, but it sounds like that is not the case.
I feel like I had the best relationship with him out of anyone in the party, for sure. He had this oh, he's gonna be mad about this. We encountered him and uh, this weird other associate of his out in, or rather, just his associate in the Trollbark Forest when we went to deal with a problem there. Um, he said Penryn was around, but we didn't get to see him. So that was his last known location. Oh, dirt on Penryn. Well, I mean, he did accidentally trip up and make a deal with like a beholder. Not Decanter, but a different one. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm already wanted. But
Oh yes, I've seen the posters.
oh, there are posters now. Great.
Yeah, here, take a look. A couple of them floated down in the store the other day. The likeness is pretty good, actually.
Penryn, he he got himself into a little bit of trouble. Not unlike myself, with dealing with dark entities, but I am a little bit smarter than he was. He just kind of got roped into it, unassumingly, and wanted to get out of it pretty desperately. And he asked me for help, and I provided as much as I could.
Yeah, you said it, and so I'm just repeating it for confirmation here. Charming enough fella, not all that bright though.
No, dumb as a sack of bricks.
Right, okay. Dumb as a sack of bricks. I
Those are my words. He can hunt me for those.
Right. Well, and look, Penryn can send whatever threatening missives that he wants, but he's not the only one that is familiar hunting things in the dark.
Yes. Yeah, you got some pretty great skills yourself. Where did you learn them?
Well, when you are uh, tasked with uh, making your living and finding a way to eat only through what the sores of Waterdeep provide, one learns rather quickly to hunt very small prey and hide in very dark places. In some of those places, I may have stumbled upon some magical portals to other planes that were both mystifying and terrifying. Perhaps some things came back with me when I was able to make my way back into the swords of Waterdeep. It's really rather difficult to tell, but the end result is the beautiful specimen that you see before you and the wide array of skills that I can bring to bear in any combat or reconnaissance situation.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't think that whole disappearing in total darkness was a exactly natural trait.
No, no, it's a pretty slick trick, but it's very helpful for my particular style, right? I Unlike my sister Leonella, who prefers the very up close and personal business of a rapier or a dagger, I like a little bit of distance. I prefer my hand crossbow. I've become very, very proficient at it. I've got a range of 100 or so yards with it. What is your weapon of choice? Do you prefer to get right up in there, or do you prefer a little distance as well?
Try 300 feet out,
Oh
usually.
my! So you are a real sniper.
Very much so. I can hit basically anything from about that far, no matter what.
And what is your weapon of choice from that distance?
Oh, this trusty staff that I've kept around for a while.
Oh yeah, look at that thing. It is a beauty.
Yeah, I really like the dark woods. They're really, really slick. Unfortunately, if you can see, there are a few teeth in there. It
Oh,
kind
that
of
that
messes
that's not a
with the
feature?
Oh, I mean, it is now, but it kind of messes with the whole entire I don't know. It's not as elegant anymore, I
I
suppose.
can see it interrupts the aesthetic that you had going on. I can
Right.
understand that.
I
And,
didn't want to lose interest.
I just wanna say, I really appreciate that. There are too few individuals that take the time to really appreciate the aesthetic element of the work that we do. It's hard to look as good as you or I look.
Yeah, the headband's a real nice touch.
It is a nice touch. Thank you for noticing. It's very important, as I'm sure you're aware, right? It's very important when hunting your prey, gotta keep the sweat out of your eyes. Nothing will shut a hunt down sooner than being blinded by your own juices. It's a terrible situation, but a beautiful headband like this makes that a non-issue.
What an elegant way to put it. Uh, right. I just have the hat. It's pretty big, keeps the sun out, keeps
Another
you from sweating as well.
excellent, both beautiful and practical choice, right? For those that do more hunting in the daylight, I imagine, nothing will interfere with that perfect 300-yard shot quicker than a sunbeam in the eyeball. And so, nice wide brim on a beautiful hat like that makes that a non issue.
Indeed.
Both a useful tool of the trade and stylish to boot. That's why I think we're peas of a pod, Zero. Both we are deadly from a distance, right? And we're good looking while we do it.
You got that right. You got that right.
It just if you'll indulge me a moment, it just makes me a little sad because, unfortunately, as I'm sure you're aware outside of this pocket dimension, uh, I recently died protecting primarily Decker, but others as well.
Oh, right. That
And
I almost forgot.
I was brought back as this lizard folk, and I just don't know how my impeccable style is going to work as this new species. It's a little troubling. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, unfortunately, I guess you have to lose the sweatband. I'm not sure that lizard folk sweat.
Well,
Well, I mean,
just
you can still
because it
wear it.
right. I mean, just because it no longer serves the practical purpose doesn't mean that it also ceases to be aesthetically pleasing. I mean, the head if the headband's a good look, the headband's a good look. And I think I'm probably gonna have to stick with it. And another reason I'm probably gonna have to stick with it, at least for a little while, is how are people going to know that it's me if I'm now a lizard folk? Like if I don't have the headband and I don't have, my work jumpsuit, how's anybody gonna know it's me? It's like for friends, it'll be like I disappeared off the face of the earth.
Is your voice the same?
My voice is sort of the same, but the physicality has changed and the vocal cords have changed, so it sounds a little bit different. I mean, the biggest problem, being the lizard folk, right, is that the brain is different, and so now apparently I think differently, which is both good and bad. Apparently, a little bit more focused on threat mitigation, a little less focused on looking as smooth and suave as I do on a regular basis.
I mean, again, if the voice is similar, I'm sure whatever friends you have will be able to pick you out in the crowd. It's unique.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And it goes a long way to calming my fears a little bit. It just, feels like ever since I've been brought back in a different body, feels almost like I've, disappeared off the face of the earth.
Disappeared? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, there used to be this human being, Leander, running around being a badass, making the ladies and men swoon wherever he went, being just about as deadly as a man can be. Now, yeah, I'm still around, but no one recognizes me as the same individual. No one, fears me in the way that they did when they saw me coming beforehand because no one can identify me. No one knows me.
and I'm sorry. So you don't really have a presence anymore as Leander. Uh, how did you say this happened?
Well, it's not like I had a big choice in it. I died while you guys were taking down Decanter, and I was, making sure that Decker stayed alive. And
Uh-huh.
y'all came back and scooped me up. And as I understand it,
Huh?
Razik took control of the situation and brought me back with one of his spells, or one of the spells at the Emerald Enclave in Falconmere. And next thing you know, uh, I'm a lizard folk. And I mean, I'm don't get me wrong, I'm gonna work very hard, right, at making sure that everybody knows that this lizard folk is the exact same guy that Leander used to be, right? And yeah, shit's gotten weird, right? But I'm the exact same person. However, that's going to be a lot of work. And if I didn't put that kind of work in, nobody would fucking know who I am.
Right. So if you didn't put in the work, nobody would know who you were. So Raza can cast the spell. Are you locked? Is it specifically? I feel like this is an insensitive question, but is it lizards folk specific? Do you always have
Well,
to
no,
come
the
back
way it's
every
been
day?
explained to me is that the good news is that it'll bring somebody back from the dead. The bad news is the caster has no control over how this person comes back. It creates a new body, but it really just, sucks energy or goo or whatever the hell it sucks up, right, from the world around it to create whatever body it can. And so you're sort of stuck with whatever you get.
Right, 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 right. Hmm. How many races are there? Do a tally. Uh,
Well, I mean, there's a
yeah,
lot. There's a
that
lot of
is a
races
good.
out there.
Okay, so good odds of not getting lizard folk or something uh uncomfortable.
Well, hey, wait a second. I mean, good odds or no, like that's what I ended up getting. What are you calculating over there?
Oh, nothing, nothing. Uh,
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit traumatic, but if you think something even as profound as this can stop all that is Leander Steambelly, like you got another thing coming.
yeah. Whew. Okay. And how much did this cost you?
Well, it didn't cost me anything. Uh, you know, Fortunately, Razik and the folks at the Emerald Enclave, they were kind enough to recognize that I gave my life in service to a cause that was very important to them, and as a result, they decided to bring me back and pick up whatever the bill was after the fact, which was pretty nice. I gotta acknowledge.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet of them. Huh. Okay. That sounds that sounds
Now, if it
horrible. I'm so
if it
sorry, Leander.
helps at all, my understanding is it's not too terribly expensive. I mean, I know they had to bring Decker back as well, and she got big enough magic brought to bear that she got to come back as herself. Which look, I'm very happy for her, and I'm going to try and focus on that and not be bitter at all about the fact that she got to remain who she is, whereas I got this whole new body that unless I put in a lot of effort, no one's going to recognize and will just mean that Leander Steambelly has disappeared off the face of the earth.
Right. Wait, but were you alive to see that whole thing? That was incredible. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think anyone could I couldn't afford that kind of magic. I'm fucking loaded.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm glad they brought those sort of resources to bear to bring Decker back. She deserves it, and I'm happy she's here, and I'm happy she's her.
No, I'm sorry, Leander. I didn't mean hmm. Well, on the bright side, at least you're here. At least you're doing this now, right?
I am
How is
here, and it's nice to be able to talk to people, particularly like-minded people like yourself. It's really rare to have an opportunity to sit down with another drop dead sexy killer like yourself.
Uh, well, I'm flattered, but uh, thank you.
You're very welcome. I
Yes.
mean, look, people like us, we got to stick together. And hey, you can help me out.
Oh,
You know that Lizardfolk Leander is in fact Leander.
right. Oh, you want me to
So,
spread the word?
yeah, we should hang out there.
Uh, oh, Leander, I will be tied up in the next few days. I just have a list of things to do back in Waterdeep. You might not see me for a good long time. I'm sure I'll let everyone know who you are and this whole thing you're doing. I love it. It's great. But I couldn't find the time.
Okay, no problem, right? You'll take care of the errands that you need to take care of, right? And then we'll hang out. We'll do a little rat hunt.
Right. Yeah. Most definitely. Rat hunt. I feel like we lost the plot. We were talking about Penryn.
Yeah, well, like I said, that son of a bitch, he's now gunning for me because he thinks I did him wrong in our interview. And so, like, any information that you might have that could help me protect myself from him, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not scared of that guy. Particularly here in the pocket dimension. No.
Oh, yeah. No.
I don't need to worry about him, but I got to work out for Lizard Leander too.
Right.
And so, any information that you might have, right, that can help me keep a boy out there safe, or perhaps, maybe a little leverage so that I can make some sort of deal with Pandaren, that'd be wonderful.
I can probably tell you the name after we're done here, because this guy's got a lot of influence, and I don't want to make him mad.
Well, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. Why don't we wrap this up? We can have the rest of this conversation on the down low. We can share whatever information we need to share outside of the whisper jar. And then we can make those plans for that rat hunt.
Right. Rat hunt. Are you sure you don't want to just go right now? We can talk and walk.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. Let's head out of here. This has been really illuminating. Thank you so much, Zhyrra. It's fantastic.
Great being here. Beats the surface when people are trying to hunt you down.
People are trying to what now?
Hunt me down. Yeah, the bounty. It's 30,000 gold. Shouldn't have said that. You might want.
Yeah, you know what? I think we're probably best doing the rest of this outside of the earshot of the whisper jar. Have a good one, everybody. You say that Pandaren made a deal with some sort of beholder creature that there you have it. Charming, deadly, sexy. Just like yours truly. It's no wonder Zhyrra Dahlamehr and I hit it off. I expect big things from her, and I look forward to hearing more about her and her future exploits. Zhyrra Dahlamehr, it's a name to remember. It definitely big things coming from her in the future. I'm excited that we got to speak with her because the world is her oyster. Can't wait to hear what's next. More local news. Melissa is still missing. I don't know what else to say on that front. I'm sure she's fine. I'm sure she'll turn up. And we are going to continue to look for her and continue to keep our fingers crossed for Melissa. Until next time, folks. Leonella!